Hello, I want to talk to you today about Jose Rizal, national hero of the Philippines. These days, people are a bit wary of the word hero, but Jose Rizal really does deserve the accolade of national hero of the Philippines. He's widely revered across the whole country, and Rizal Day is celebrated as a national holiday each year on the anniversary of his death, the December. Every town and city throughout the Philippines has a memorial to or a statue of Jose Rizal. This one shown on the slide is one of the grandest in the capital, Manila, in its biggest open space, Rizal Park, also named for Jose Rizal. And Rizal is buried in this monument. In fact, there are plaques and statues in honor of Rizal all over the world, as well as roads named after him in many cities. I've seen this statue of him in Madrid, and there's also a blue plaque in Primrose Hill in London, marking where he lived for a short period. I still haven't been to see that one. Rizal was born in 1861 in Laguna, just to the south of Manila. He studied medicine in Manila, and then in 1882, he traveled to Madrid to complete his medical studies. He was a good student and had a flair for learning languages, as well as being a gifted writer. His first novel, Noli Me Tangere, was written in Spanish while he was in Madrid. It is a social commentary on the Spanish colonial rule of the Philippines. Through the novel, Rizal is particularly critical of the role played by the Catholic Church in backing up colonial rule there. Noli was banned in the Philippines. Spain had been the colonial power in the Philippines since 1565. There was a small mutiny in 1872, which was unsuccessful, but created the desire for further change. The mutiny leaders were executed and others were deported to Spain, thereby creating a colony of Filipino expatriates in Madrid. And that was a center for revolutionary thought. There was increasing dissatisfaction in the Philippines from then on about Spanish rule. Rizal was one of those calling for political reform, and he was a key member of the propaganda movement that was based in Madrid, and he wrote many articles on the need for reform. After 10 years in Madrid, Rizal returned to Manila in 1892, where he continued to advocate for reform and founded a civic movement called La Liga Filipina. This movement was disbanded by the authorities. They considered Rizal an enemy of the state because of his novel. Rizal was sent to a distant province well away from Manila, out of harm's way. There he wasn't inactive. He built a school and a hospital, and he taught in the school and encouraged the local people to learn more about farming and agriculture. Meanwhile, back in Manila, a secret group was planning a revolution. Rizal supported their aims, but not their methods. He was in favor of reform through peaceful means. In late August 1896, the rebels attacked and fought against the Spanish army for several days in Manila and in adjacent provinces, but they had little success. At the end of 1897, there was a peace treaty, though some rebels continued to fight on. And then, in 1898, the USA had declared war on Spain over some troubles in Cuba, and a USA fleet sailed to the Philippines and defeated the Spanish Navy in the Battle of Manila. Thus, the Philippines achieved independence from Spain at long last, but only to find that they now had another colonial master in the shape of the USA. Full independence only came to the Philippines in 1945. However, back in 1896, Rizal was making his way by mailboat to Cuba. He'd volunteered for medical service there in the Cuban War of Independence. So halfway there, he arrived in Barcelona, but was detained by the Spanish and informed that he was being sent back to the Philippines. When Rizal reached Manila again, he was imprisoned in Fort Santiago, as shown in the slide. While he was there, he issued a manifesto disconnecting himself from the current revolution. As I said, he was in favor of peaceful reform. He declared that the education of Filipinos and their achievement of a national identity are prerequisites to freedom. Today, the fort and its bastions and the prison dungeons for criminals used by the Spanish officials are all part of a historical park in the center of Manila. Inside Fort Santiago is the Rizal Shrine Museum, and this is dedicated to the life and work of Jose Rizal, and it displays memorabilia of the hero in the collection there. While he was imprisoned, Rizal was visited by his girlfriend and lover, Josephine Bracken. Their love affair had not been entirely happy, but any bitterness was put aside at this time. Rizal was tried for rebellion, sedition, and conspiracy. He was convicted on all 3 charges and sentenced to death. Josephine and Rizal reunited for the last time at Rizal's cell in Fort Santiago on December the 30th, 1896. The couple were married in a Catholic ceremony just 2 hours before Rizal's execution. Rizal's undated poem Mi Ultimo Adios was believed to have been written a few days before his execution. It was hidden, the manuscript was hidden amongst his few remaining possessions that were handed to his family after his death. Here's the first and last verses out of a total of 14 verses. Farewell, my adored land, region of the sun caressed, pearl of the Orient Sea, our Eden lost. With gladness I give you my life, sad and repressed, and were it more brilliant, more fresh and at its best, I would still give it to you for your welfare at most. Farewell, parents, brothers, beloved by me, friends of my childhood, in the home distressed. Give thanks that now I rest from the wearisome day. Farewell, sweet stranger, my friend, who brightened my way. Farewell to all I love. To die is to rest. If you visit Fort Santiago today, you will see, embedded into the ground in bronze, Rizal's footsteps representing his final walk from his cell to the location of the execution on the 30th of December 1896 by a squad of Filipino soldiers of the Spanish army. Visiting there, I found these footsteps very moving, really evoking that awful final hours of his life. So that was the end of Rizal's life at the age of just 37. He did not live to see the Philippines free from Spanish rule. That took 2 years longer, nor true independence. That took 50 years. But the Philippines still remember him now as the hero who inspired reform and played such a major part in creating independence. It is striking that Rizal was not a fighter or a general, but a doctor and a writer. His power lay in his thoughts and his writing. He was feared by the Spanish because of his books. As a librarian, that appeals to me. You might wonder why I am telling this story. My husband is from the Philippines originally, so I've visited the Philippines many times and visited most of the places shown here. Many of the photos are photos I've taken while on holiday there. The story of Rizal's life and his final years made an impression on me. I've read his novels, Noli Me Tangere and its sequel, Il Filibusterismo. He really is a hero worthy of the name. Thank you for listening.